some warm clothes. Maybe it's cold out there. We can't be exposed. It's far too cold out there. So what can we get that's stylish to this Arctic box would look good on you? Perhaps something black and chic. The goat might suit your physique. Could the polar bear be suitably dyed? Help you to I want to look good. Ah, but it's cold outside. Coats and gloves secured before we head into the cold. Minus temperatures can be deadly if you're old. The north can wait a few more days. First, never winter is our aim. The adventure continues.
Is that everything you want to do with Dexter Fletcher's cold? I can't even say it. Cold weather clothing emporium.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, cool. For the purposes of moving this along, the rest of the day you just mill around Mirabar, taking in the sights, enjoying what you can, waiting until it's time to head back to the building where you encountered Jal Snides. And you get back there at the early evening. I can't remember what the time was that he suggested you come back, but let's just say it was an early evening thing. And you employ the special knock that Dabov used last time, which I think was just sort of something along the lines of something like that. I think it was very slow and generic. And the door, once again, just opens up. Do you go in?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. You walk in, and you see basically Jal with pretty much the same people that were there before. There's one or two less this time, but he welcomes you in. He says, hello there. You have returned for your information, I am gathering. Is this correct?
Yep.
Strong response there. Okie dokie. If I recall, there were two things you were after. Let's deal with the first of those, which is the Harper. We have been very fortunate enough and have tracked down a gentleman who we believe is part of the Harpers. We find him stationed up in the north of the city in a stable house, and his name is Zaspar Bronzefire, a dwarven gentleman who, it's fair to say, keeps himself to himself. But we are confident that you'll be able to discover that he is a Harper. Now, to make things easy for you, this stable house, we have written on it in some thieves' cant to allow you to identify the correct house for him. You'll see written on the stable house, and he comes in and he leans into Daboff and whispers, Buffet Hibar Playpen. which Daboff immediately recognises as Dogbird Cat.
Okay.
Should probably write that down, shouldn't I?
So, 50 gold pieces paid, and that is information delivered. Are we happy with this?
Yeah, solid, thanks.
Yeah, we'll leave you a good review on Yelp.
Excellent. Well, don't do anything just yet, because let's come to the second piece of information. You were asking about an item called a Peak Pendant, something I'd never heard of before until you crossed my doorway. It's fair to say I've become a little bit more educated in this today. Do you know what one of these is?
It's like a necklace.
Yeah, well, maybe.
You are right, it is a necklace. It is one used. It is an old-fashioned way of finding things north of Mirabar in the mountains. Now, it's fair to say it's not used very often these days. It's old-fashioned, as I say. But the right people know how to make them. The right people know how to find them. The interesting thing that I found out today is that there also is a giant looking for a Peak Pendant in Mirabar. Now, I don't know if you're working with the giant or you're working against the giant, but I think you'll find that piece of information has made the rest of my information very pricey. If you'd like to know a little bit more about where you can find it, I'm afraid I'm going to have to jack up my prices, sir.
Do we just strangle him and get that information out of him? We wring it out of him like a wet towel.
Are we not in the middle of like his guild's
Yeah.
building?
Yeah, wouldn't be wise.
It's a shame to hear that you've gone back on our word.
It's not our word, it's his word.
If you're coming to the Thieves Guild expecting some nobility, sir, then you are sorely mistaken. I'm just saying, as far as I see, I can see a bidding war, or I can see that there is a group who are working in tandem with a giant, and if a giant is involved, it's fair to say it's probably quite a useful piece of information.
How much has the price gone up?
200 gold pieces.
Yeah, you're all right.
What was it? What was it originally?
50.
Would you like to arm wrestle for it?
Sorry, how many people are in this building?
There is Jal,
Yeah, we could take him.
and there are 5 other thieves.
What I would say though is that some time ago, as we left the Harpers in Everland, the lady who was in charge of the Harpers Tower there, Moongleam Tower, she gave us a really kind of rousing speech about going and proving ourselves to be just and heroic, and by using violence to bring other people in line like this guy hasn't done anything wrong, he's just trying to have us over. By using violence to bring other people in line, we are essentially going against the kind of tenets of the Harpers. We would be using our power to oppress this man, even though he is objectively a prick. That doesn't give us the right. He's not evil. He's not committing atrocities.
Well,
To be fair, what are your alternatives?
Just tell Harshnag. Let's see how this little fella feels about his 200 gold pieces when he's got a great big giant breathing down his neck asking him about it instead of a half elf.
Well, you'd be correct that we are working with the giant. The giant, like us, is very keen to get this item. We'll tell him that you're less than keen to help without additional profits, and see what he says. He might front the money, or he might choose to come have a word with you himself.
Yeah, he might be entirely happy with being. Well, I think it's called extortion, isn't it? I think he's. Some people think giants aren't very clever, but he's a good friend of mine, and we've spent many evenings sitting and chatting, and he's quite familiar with big words. And let's face it, extortion. It's only 3 syllables. Even Krill understands that. He might be fine with it. He might be fine with it. I mean, it's a bit like blackmail, isn't it? I suppose. Which, I mean, it's only 2 syllables. So it's getting easier to understand. Theft. Just 1 syllable if we want to make it really, really easy to understand. I'm just trying to work out how I'm going to explain this to Harshnag. And
do you remember the last time? Do you remember the last time? Yeah, that didn't end well, did it?
No. He's a nice lad, isn't he? But I tell you what, when he goes, he goes. Oof.
Yeah.
Temper.
He is keen that people stick to their word. Very keen.
Yeah. What was he saying? Was he saying to you that time after he slaughtered those other giants? He said to you.
He was cleaning the blood off, and he said, "I hate it when people go against their word."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there was a lot of blood.
Yeah. They do. That's the thing about giants, isn't it? Very big bodies. big circulatory system. Oh, big hearts, just pumping the blood around. Kept on going. Do you remember when he chopped that guy's and it just kept spurting out for 10 minutes afterwards? Oh, it made
I
him
thought
right
he was
mess.
going to die,
Yeah.
but he just wouldn't die.
No. And afterwards, he did say, I'm sorry. I think he said, remember he said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I went back on what I previously said, Harshnag.
And then he died.
And then he died. He did have that chance to kind of like apologise first, which obviously, might have helped.
Right. So back to Harshnag, I guess.
Roll me an intimidation.
Who? I was helping. Let's say
one of you.
was
I was going to say one of you roll at advantage. I'll let you decide which one
you
of
can
you.
have that one. Yeah.
Okay, 22.
22. Right. Okay, gents. Listen, there is no need for us to get any giants down here. Look, we are just legitimate businessmen trying to do legitimate business. You cannot blame a gent for seeing that something is worth more than he originally valued at and trying to therefore revalue. You can't blame me for that, surely. You came in here, walked in, started talking about some jewellery I'd never even heard of. I sized it up at 50 gold pieces. Turns out it's even bigger than that. I'm just saying that I think it is worth 250. Now, if you're telling me you're going to have a giant come down and knock on my door, as gentle as it is, that door's coming off its hinges, and I do not want any of that. I like to live in the shadows. So I'll do you another deal. We'll call it 100 gold pieces. How about that then?
That's fair.
Yeah, it's agreeable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Harshnag wouldn't mind 100 gold pieces.
No, I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
Nice little present for him. It's his birthday soon as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am feeling confident enough to get the money. I'll pony up 100 gold pieces. Yeah.
Okay. It's expensive episode.
The purse is looking, quite a bit down.
Well, it's
still got lots.
What's sad? What is looking sad? It's
Yeah. It's an anthropomorphic purse.
Okay. Okay. So you hand over the 100 gold pieces. It's a pleasure doing business with you. I hope this doesn't sully our good name in your mind. But okay. So what I found out is that, as I said, they are an old-fashioned jewellery piece of pendant that you use north of the border to try and locate things. You essentially hold them up to the skyline and you essentially line it up with some mountains to try and determine that you're in the right spot and you're headed in the right direction. That's essentially how it works. They're not used these days. Cartographers have come on a long way and we use maps. They're generally speaking something that you would use for places that perhaps haven't been visited for quite some time, that are perhaps a little bit off the beaten track. Do you get me? Do you understand? Now, that's what it is. Where it is a little bit difficult. My understanding is, as I say, they're probably not being made anymore. I don't know what type of pendant your friend is after, or what type of pendant you are after. I'd be honest, I do not care. If it saves a giant coming to my door, I do not care what type of pendant you're after. However, probably the right person you want to speak to is Percy up in the west of the Titty. Percy's Pendants. Don't let the stupid name fool you. Percy knows a lot about pendants.
Can he make them pronto?
Percy's Pronto Pendants.
I feel like
Por favor.
we've just paid 100 gold pieces to be told that the best place to find the pendants is in the pendant shop. The clearly labelled and advertised pendant shop.
Yeah. I mean, I can't deny that's what's happened. I can't deny that is what the transaction happened.
We've been absolutely...
But I feel like if we didn't go through this route, we'd have never found out there was a pendant shop.
I reckon there's probably like a pamphlet, or like a zine that's printed advertising all the local businesses and what have you. There's one near where I live.
There's a sign that says "You are here."
Yeah.
And it's got all
So
the
there's
shops.
a Percy's Pronto Pendants pamphlet. Is that what you're saying?
Precisely. Right.
How much do I need to pay you to tell me where the belt of giant strength shop is?
Davos Wink.
Billy's belts.
Billy's belts is where you want to be going.
Krill charges out the door.
Is that everything, sirs? Can we get on with our day now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
It has been a pleasure doing business with you.
No, I'm sure it has.
Hope you have a wonderful rest of time in Mirabar.
Do you?
Yeah. This is. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this has been a productive day.
Yeah, I'm sure you're really enjoying yourself, Joel. Yeah.
I think the minute we went, we need a Peak Pendant. In that first conversation, he went, Percy's. And then, like, and then went, I'll let him sit on it for a bit. Like,
okay. You leave, and what do you want to do now? You're back on the streets of Mirabar.
Billy's belts, you said?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Percy's first in the west, and then Zaspar in the north.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because we need. I mean, hopefully we can get to Zaspar's and maybe find ourselves a Harper's Circle. What did we agree with Harshnag? Regards,
he's looking around the city, so he's looking for this.
Yeah.
He's looking for this pendant as well, essentially.
And he didn't think to look in Percy's pendant shop, no?
Well, you don't know that.
we're going to get there.
You know,
we just sold the last one. Never guess who bought it, big fella.
all you know right now is Harshnag was looking for this, and was essentially saying, "Look, you guys go on ahead, and I'll meet you afterwards. I'll do.
He fucking knew, didn't he? He knew Percy's pendants. He knew Percy's pendants all along.
I'm not trying to say he was shaking you off, but I'm also not saying that you've done all this for no reason. Bearing in mind the character did say to you he'll be looking for it himself.
I know, but I thought it'd be a nice thing to do.
We assumed he didn't know where to look. He pre-ordered it. It's waiting there for him.
It's like Argos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you going to
a reservation number?
Are you going to Percy's Pendants?
Well, we may as well just finish it. It would be weird for us to go, oh yeah, it's at Percy's Pendants, and then go, right, on with the journey.
Well, the alternative is you try and find Harshnag and tell him, and he can do that. That's what I'm saying.
I'd rather give him the pendant than tell him where the pendant is.
Okay.
Particularly after we've just spent 10 grand finding out where the thing is.
So much money.
Could have had 6.5 tiramisus for that.
wonder how much a Peak Pendant's going to cost you. Anyway,
we're going to be exactly 100 gold short of it.
Yeah, can you just let me know how much is in the kitty, brother? Okay, so you head on over to the west of the city, and it takes you a little bit of time to find it. But eventually you stumble across Percy's Pendants, and the sign is hanging down almost like it is the bottom of her pendant. Like there's a little chain hanging off her thing, and then the sign is sort of just dangling in the wind. It's almost quite dangerous. And it's open. Fortuitously, it's still open. You go inside, and there's a human guy, quite short, bald, glasses, and he just looks very, very nerdy and whatnot. And you can see that there are lots of pendants on sale, remarkably. And you walk in and goes, "Hello there.
Cool, look at you."
That's the best way to greet someone.
That's like how you greet a child that you've not seen. Look how big you've gotten.
Hello there. Cool, look at you.
Thank you.
What you admiring most about him, Quinch, is his little baldy head, his glasses, or his nerdy demeanour.
Just the voice, actually.
All right.
Quinch
Which is like you can't look at.
Are you Percy, perhaps? Perchance.
Percy, perchance, middle name, perhaps.
I am Percy, perhaps, perchance.
Oh, you're just a man, and this is just the place we need to be.
Are you looking for a pendant?
Yes, my friend Dweezil here will explain to you exactly what we're after.
Thank you for starting the conversation. Which one of you is Dweezil?
I'm Dweezil, I'll say with complete dejection.
Hello there, Dweezil. Are you looking for a pendant?
Yeah, I'm looking for a specific pendant now. As you can see, I'm wearing quite a fine pendant, and I show him the gold pendant, which I only just realised I gave the other one to Daboff, and then when he went and got himself killed, we never got that pendant back, and it was worth 250 gold pieces, and that's the real tragedy about Daboff's death.
It depends on how much you stripped the body of, because you took his armor and stuff like that. So you might have taken the pendant.
Oh, I think we took it.
I think we probably would, yeah.
And I think there's an emotional side of Dweezil that would have probably seen it and taken it.
To be fair, I think I'd have probably quietly given it back to Daboff as well when he reappeared.
Yeah.
Okay. As you can see, I'm partial to a pendant. I have a pendant penchant, if you will.
We have a pair of pendants.
We have a pair of pendants, yes. But we're looking for something a little bit more particular. A particular pendant.
Oh, that is interesting. What?
Please.
What? When you say particular?
I didn't say particular. I said particular.
Oh, you're pedantic.
Precisely.
This is peculiar.
What is particular about this pendant that you are after?
This pungent
He says
pendant.
it different every time.
Listen, this guy didn't exist 5 seconds ago, so just give me a moment. Carry on.
I'm looking for something of an antique. A retro piece.
As you say that, he sort of strains on. Yeah. Oh, hello there.
I am
a period piece.
I am an adventurer, and I collect antique adventuring equipment, and I am looking for a Peak Pendant.
As you say the words Peak Pendant, you see a little bit of a sort of a twinkle in his eye. This is... You were not lying when you said a particular pendant. This is not something the common folk would be walking into Percy's pendants after.
No, as I say, I am something of a collector of antique adventuring gear. Now, I do have to be honest with you. I have sourced a Peak Pendant in Neverwinter, but the Peak Pendant that I've sourced in Neverwinter is not in particularly good condition. The pendant itself has some damage, and it doesn't have the original chain. I am quite particular. Sorry to use that word again. Particular about the equipment that I add to my collection. And whilst I have, I've managed to source and find one. I'm on the lookout for a better example. And when we came to Mirabar, I was informed that of your existence, Percy. And I thought I'd come and see if you had anything better than I've already found.
Well, firstly, it's I should warn anybody against buying a Peak Pendant anywhere that as south as Neverwinter. Clearly, a Peak Pendant, which as someone as fine as your good self will know, this is very helpful in the northern parts of this great continent.
It's
with the southern
less as a working piece, isn't it, and more of a posterity pendant.
Indeed.
Precisely. That was so creepy.
So I would, if you do go searching for more Peak Pendants, please do ensure that you visit our much more northern cities such as Mirabar. Otherwise, you are likely to find forgeries and just low quality Peak Pendants. However, is there a particular Peak Pendant you're after?
Oh, nice.
As someone as knowledgeable about Peak Pendants as you will know, that these are used to locate certain places.
Yeah, so I do have a couple of Peak Pendants already in my collection. I don't only collect Peak Pendants; I collect all kinds of generally northern adventuring equipment. I don't don't really go in for the southern stuff. And I mean, Neverwinter's about as south as I like to travel. You know, I start to feel queasy any further south. I had been. I mean, obviously, the dream Peak Pendant in terms of Peak Pendants would be one for locating like the Eye of the Allfather, something. I mean that, but yeah, I mean that's probably the top of anyone's any pendant collector's hit list.
The pinnacle. if you will.
Can you roll me a charisma?
Just flat charisma.
Flat charisma.
Flat charisma. Let's choose this dice wisely. We have 24. I rolled a 19. Come on.
Okay. As you mentioned, the Eye of the Allfather. He steps out from behind the counter that he was stood at, and he sort of and you see him like as he comes beside you. You can see him at his full height. He's like 4'3" or something like that. He's a tiny little fella, and he goes little waddling over to the front door, and he sort of like just pulls the bolt across and locks the door and says, "This is indeed a very interesting item that you're after, one that is, even amongst collectors of Peak Pendants, a truly rare item. Do you say that you found this in Neverwinter? Or is this a different Peak Pendant you're after?"
No. The one that was in Neverwinter wasn't an Eye of the Allfather. It was a somewhat lesser Peak Pendant, but you know, I mean, Percy's pendants. You might as well aim high.
at the aiming high thing, he sort of you hear a little, just a little weird grumble come from him, thinking that you're potentially taking some sort of swing at his height, and he says, "Well, I don't have one. However, I could possibly make you one if this is something that you wish."
What's the price on that?
I mean, there's a couple of things to think about. Obviously, you know, I am a collector of antique adventuring equipment, so owning a modern reproduction is not ideal, but as I've described before, I am amenable to having items in my collection almost as a make weight, you know, a saving the place in the collection for if and when something perfect came up. So if you were to make for me an Eye of the Allfather Peak Pendant, obviously, at some point I would love to have a true vintage piece.
We've come in this shop and Dweezil's turned into David Dickinson.
I was thinking more less David Dickinson and more that Paul fella who does Antiques Road Trip, because he's a little bit less
Orange.
less creepy, a little
Orange?
bit less orange, a little bit less creepy, a little bit sexier.
Sorry, they're sexier than David Dickinson.
So really, Percy, it all comes down to the question that's on everyone's lips: what's the bunce?
As I say, these are particularly rare items, and they also come with some problems. It's fair to say that they are an outdated thing.
Yeah.
They are custom built if you wish for a new one. So that comes with some additional cost. I'll need to get the right materials and also to get the paperwork, so to speak, to get the correct designs, which will take a little while to source. I don't have those. However, I could probably make one for about 2,000 gold pieces. If, as you know, if we're talking about a full original Peak Pendant, we're talking five figures. It's a much more expensive. This will be, you know, as you say, it's not the original. It's a copy, if you will. But I can assure you that my work is exemplary. It would definitely be worth the 2,000 gold pieces if you're looking to use it for.
Because I want roll insight. As much on what he's saying, but as much on, can we see examples of bits and bobs in his shop? And just do I get an idea of?
Yeah. Okay. Roll me an insight then.
17, flat 17.
17. So in terms of on him, you get very as stupid as it sounds, this is a guy who owns a pendant shop. Like, I appreciate there's going to be different levels of quality and knowledge and things like that, but you see nothing about his character to suggest he's having you on, or that he is that this is anything beyond what he's saying. In terms of the quality of the work, as you're looking around, you can see there's some very fine work here. Not the type of thing that you're looking for. You don't see anything that you think would match the item that you're after. But in terms of the craft work, there's some really nice pieces in here, some really nicely crafted pendants.
Right. Little sidebar with the boys, please, out of Percy's earshot. Just need to talk to my associates. Sorry, Percy. Right. I reckon this is probably a roundabout right in terms of the amount of money this is going to cost. Now, we haven't got this kind of money. Do we think Harshnag's carrying this kind of money around with him?
I mean, what sort of money do we have? I mean,
about half that.
I mean, total, because I've got a lot.
Have you? I mean, I've got just short of 12. Oh, I've got about 1,200 gold pieces. All.
I've got 433 gold.
See, the
pieces.
thing is, we could probably copper up and sell some bits and bobs and do it, but that would absolutely wipe us out. I wanted to get this as a present for Harshnag.
That's out the question.
And I don't know why I wanted to get him a present. I'm not going to ask him out or anything.
We know he wants a peak pendant. Do we know he wants this peak pendant?
It's worth noting this is the second time that Dweezil's given like a chain over to, like, this is obviously becoming an MO that when Dweezil connects with someone, he gives you a necklace.
Yeah.
Krill puts his hand up to his neck and realizes that there's nothing there, and it's
Dabov compares the price of his to the one that Dweezil was about to buy and just throws it out the window.
The one he got for free.
We absolutely know, Krill, that this is the peak pendant that Harshnag wants. Because that's where Harshnag needs to get to.
It depends on if we need to pay for it up front now.
But then, again, like, do you think Harshnag's got that kind of money? I mean, I think he probably has.
He's
he's
fucking
like
old. He's like old people are rich.
He's like a celebrity as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
He ain't out there doing photographs at Comic-Con, mate.
Yeah, but he's killed a lot of people, and he's probably rifled through a lot of pockets.
I reckon his personal pouch is.
I want to buy this as a present so he can reimburse me.
Well, it doesn't do harm to ask him.
What should you reckon?
Can we ask him if he's had any other inquiries about a peak pendant?
Nah, I think we'd have known from the way he reacted.
He's their like second one I've sold this week.
I think we
paid up the money.
Is it being presumptuous to put the order in, put down a deposit, and then go and tell Harshnag's not just going to come and turn the guy over, is he? That's not what he was intending to do.
No, Harshnag understands diplomacy.
Yeah, Harshnag was going to come and find a peak pendant and pay up for it. Although, is it presumptuous?
I reckon. I mean, I'm keen to just do it. I don't think it's going to bite us too bad. I mean, when we go back to Neverwinter, and we tell him about Matey Boy that died, isn't there a reward for the return of him that would recoup some of our funds?
There was a 5,000 gold piece reward on Rufflecopter.
This is what I'm saying. We'll recoup some funds from that. I understand that. I don't know if it was alive specifically, but dead might still get us some money back, and we might get the money back from Harshnag anyway.
I think, I think we drop a fat deposit down on a peak pendant.
What's the I mean, what's the? I mean, someone. I mean, we can ask him roughly how long we expect, because if he says a week, cool, we fuck off for a week and do some jobs and make some money.
I mean, we can. I mean, essentially, if he says a week, we tell Harshnag. We jib off to Neverwinter.
Here's your deposit slip.
We jib off to Neverwinter because I don't.
Here's
think
your present. We've made a prepayment, but you've got to pay the rest. Happy birthday.
I don't think the plan was for Harshnag to come to Neverwinter with us.
No.
I think he was gonna make his way north or wait for us or what have you.
And if we do buy it for him, that's a royally big favour he owes us.
Yeah,
That's why I give presents.
If he doesn't have the funds. Yeah, I mean, I'll offer my money up. So what are we at? We're at about 1,600.
yeah.
Where's everyone else at?
I'm
as
at
well.
a whopping 25 gold pieces.
Yeah, I really haven't got much.
I've got 3 bog standard brownie kind of gems that are worth 300. We've probably got 2 G's between us, if needs be.
I mean, look,
Right.
we're going to try and... Is it worth trying to negotiate?
I don't think he's going to arm wrestle you for it, Krill.
You certainly won't win.
Percy, my mum. 2 further questions: time frame and payment
Terms.
plans and
Okay.
terms.
Okay. You're asking them that, are you?
Yeah, hence the
Okay.
prefacing there. Well, what I want to know, Percy, is how long is it going to take you, and what kind of deposit would you want us to leave you with?
Okay. Well, if we deal with the deposit firstly, my general terms are a 20% deposit down with full payment on delivery of the items. So if we're talking 2,000 gold pieces, that'll be 400 gold pieces today, with the remainder 1,600 gold pieces upon your return and collecting of the item.
Which would be
In terms of the time frame, that is somewhat fluid. As I say, I do have to find suitable maps and designs to ensure that I get the correct peak for you. That can take anywhere from 24 hours to a week. I would suggest if you have other business in Mirabar, if you return in 2 to 3 days, I would either it will be available or I'll have a better suggested time frame for you.
What about if I check back every hour?
This is a very delicate item, sir. This is no 1 hour type of business that we have in Mirabar, I'm afraid.
There are a lot of those. It's a bit strange.
Yes.
right. Is everyone happy for me to give 400 gold pieces to this man?
Yeah.
Because this is
Yeah.
this is a big outlay. I've
Yeah.
spent 608 gold pieces today, and I feel sick.
You spent 60 grand today.
Yeah, you'd think I'd feel like a baller. I really, really don't. I'm not. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it makes you feel better, that's only like, 4 tiramisu's, it's fine.
Right.
So what I'm going to do, if you... So I'll deduct 200 from mine, and then you deduct 200 from yours.
Sweet. Okay.
Okay, then. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a receipt
Yeah.
to show that you've given me the deposit.
Yeah.
As I say, if you return 2-3 days, as I say, either the item will be available and ready for you to collect,
Yeah.
or at the very least, I'm hoping that I should be able to give you an adjusted time frame
Awesome.
of when it will be ready.
I would ask Percy that you deal with either myself or either of my 4 investors, colleagues here. I do have another partner in the collection. You can't miss him. His name is Harshnag, and
Okay.
he is a giant. He's in Mirabar at the moment. It may be Harshnag who comes to see you. If I will try. If it is going to be Harshnag, I will give him the receipt so that he's able to show that to you. And I would ask that, regardless of you either deal with one of us 5 or Harshnag, even if someone else were to come with the receipt, that nobody else other than the 5 of us here or my friend Harshnag the giant, you'll you would not mistake Harshnag for anybody else.
Why don't we set a password?
Oh, that's a good
that
idea.
would be used on collection.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that if you want, Krill. I'm concerned there might be a situation whereby you get captured and tortured, and because of your kind of weak will, under duress, give away the password, and then someone else is able to come and collect the pendant.
Why don't you do a word that I can't read?
I mean, let's narrow it down. Let's narrow it down a bit.
How about this? I'll wait outside. You guys establish the password. I'll be left out of the loop, which I'm fine with.
Okay, Percy, the password is Krill is a massive... No. The password is... I'm trying to think of something pithy and humorous now.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pendant.
The password is Hello Percy. No.
I've come to collect the Peak Pendant of the Eye of the All-Father.
Please.
The password is, this is a robbery. No, a little bit of a half drinkable and half human humour for you there.
The password, Percy, is tiramisu.
Okay, tiramisu. Wonderful dessert. Okie dokie. I will note that down. And if I look forward to seeing you or your giant friend in the coming days. Thank you very much for doing business with Percy's Pendants.
Thank you so much for listening to Dice and Desire. If you were...
Hello.
Quinch, what are you doing here?
I thought I'd help out with the promo.
No, Quint, no, come on. You're just going to talk about random place names that don't exist.
No, I wasn't. I was going to talk to you about my adventures in Valaquanth, the very best that the Tendering Meadows has to offer.
God, if you have to be here, at least read this out.
Okay, what have we got here? Leave us a review on Apple or Podchaser.
Oh, yeah, it was fine. It's pronounced Apple, but that was fine. Now read this bit.
You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Just search Dice and Desire.
I'm actually very surprised that was all pronounced correctly. Thanks, Quinch. Thank you guys for listening. Do exactly as Quinch said and help us out in those various ways. And we look forward to sharing another episode with you very soon.
In a world besieged by darkness, torn apart by hatred, where the cruel, the wicked, and the heartless rule over all, Romancing the Dungeon is an epic tale of 4 legendary heroes who unite in the name of love, unity, and friendship to bring light and hope back into the world.
Are you serious? Those 4 wouldn't know what love is even if it was tattooed on their asses. You got the wrong show if you think these 4 are love experts. I'm the only love expert you need, so we're doing this my way. If you desire romance, we got it.
Ah, there's my favorite person.
Morning.
How you doing, Angel?
Great.
Come here, and I sort of get in real close, and I like lips sort of purse, but I flutter my lips and give a little like.
And if you love drama, we got that too.
I need you to find and kill Eugenia Flatstone. I need her heart.
Okay, well we haven't. I think it's been a while since we've done the heart thing. How am I supposed to get that to you? Because I don't think walking around with an old lady's heart is gonna go well for me personally.
If action is your passion, well, there's plenty of that as well.
For my bonus action, I'm going to use Blessing of the Raven Queen to go behind the other guy.
Okay.
And basically come up behind him with a dagger to his neck to get him to stop.
God damn. What the fuck happened to you in the woods?
Join Thane, Thea, Nate, and Hephaestus as they put their hearts and my reputation on the line in a race to rescue an eccentric bride from the clutches of evil, battle against the insatiable forces of darkness, and try not to die along the way. I suppose.
I start taking my clothes off.
Okay.
And I take a blanket from the bed, and I wrap it around me, and I start following the steps, and I go, I'm a greasy little peanut. I'm a greasy little peanut. I'm a greasy little peanut.
Oh, for the love of... I don't even know why I bother.
Romancing the Dungeon, a softcore D&D podcast about 4 heroes on a quest for true love and discovering what that really means for them. Available wherever good podcasts are found.
Good podcasts? Well, that's blatant false advertising.